Studio 10 out on the weather patio with Fletcher from the selling team with Keller Realty. A bug is attacking him currently. We'll let you get that squared away. So we had you on Friday, and it was all about the sellers for Friday. And if you missed that, you can find that on our Studio 10 website, the tips and information that Brock had for sellers. Today we're going to focus on the buyers.
Yes.
Because the market is changing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Technically, it should be getting a little bit easier for you buyers. It may not feel that way. Because you're still competing, but the reality is you're probably not competing against 14 other people. You're probably only competing against 2 or 3 other people. And even just the way some of the offers are being written is changing. We're no longer seeing those huge appraisal guarantees or the more drastic escalation clauses. So technically, you should have a better chance to be successful now than you did 2 or 3 months ago.
Now, we still have some tips for buyers. They can't just, have laundry all over the floor and people walk through the houses. Well, that's with the sellers. But with the buyers, what should they be looking for when they, are looking at a house with interior stuff? I mean, anything that they should be looking for right now? Yeah,
so as a buyer, I do think it's important that you look past. If you think it's the right home, look past some of the decorative things you might change. At the end of the day, you're really saying, is this the home that I could live in? Is this the home I want to live in? You're going to paint it, you're going to do carpet, you're going to do cosmetic things after you own it.
Right.
So what you're really looking at it is, does this house meet 80% of my desires? If it does, it's likely the right place for you. You can change the rest.
Well, because let's be honest, there's not the perfect anything, and that includes houses. So yeah, 80%. If you've got a location that works for your family, if you've got acreage that is close and the bedrooms, then go with it, right?
That's right. If it meets 80% of your must-have list, that's a winning combination. It's probably not going to get any better than that. And then if you can arrive at a price that you can live with, that's a win as well. So what I mean by that is, with interest rates as low as they are, it's costing you much, much less to finance that home. The actual price of the home is important, but it's not nearly as important as the interest rate that you're getting on that mortgage loan that you're getting.
Well, let me ask you this, because for weeks it was a seller's market. I mean, actually, I think it's been months now that it was, buyers were having to pay way over asking price. So now that that's starting to shift, are there some red flags that buyers should be watching for when it comes to maybe a seller that's trying to take advantage of them?
Well, and here's the reality. The seller isn't going to take advantage of anybody, because the price gets bid up when there's multiple buyers. So if there's only one buyer, there's not likely to be a bidding war per se. But maybe something where the buyer would have not done a home inspection earlier in the year, maybe they don't remove that contingency in terms of still completing a home inspection. Buyers were taking very aggressive measures earlier in the year because they were between kind of a rock and a hard place. There's some of that pressure is being relieved. So, you can still ask for a home inspection and an offer. You can still, put in an offer. You don't have to make it so one-sided that it's all in the seller's favor. You do need to be aware, though, if you're in a competing situation. Your agent should be asking the listing agent, are we the only offer or are we competing? That will help you to draft the right kind of offer. And
you have to know that they're being honest about that too, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's unethical for an agent to lie about whether there's multiple offers. Yeah. We have to operate by a code of ethics.
Right.
For sure.
We'll call you out on that, right? So, I know that we didn't even ask. I mean, we haven't asked in a while because we were down. What was the lowest amount of homes for sale in the Lansing area? In the 300s?
About 300 was where we bottomed out. We're at 766 as of today. So keep in mind, that's still not a lot. It's well below the average that we typically have, but this is kind of a newer normal for us because there hasn't been a lot of homes being built over the last 10 years since we had that collapse in the market. So there were thousands of homes that weren't built in the mid-Michigan area. The inventory rates that we're struggling with right now are likely a long-term thing. It's just a reality.
All right. Well, it's confusing, and it gets a little
you need
confusing.
An expert.
Yes.
You should never do it on your own.
Exactly.
That's the lesson.
So if they need an expert, they should call you.
Well, they should call me.
And they should call your cell phone number, right?
Oh my gosh, we didn't do my cell phone last week.
I know.
I can't believe it. It's 517-303-3262.
All right.
That's the way
And
to
of
get
course,
me.
Brock will help you out with any information there, right?
I will.
All right. Well, thanks for stopping in.
Thank you, and happy birthday.
Thank you. It was yesterday, but yes, thank you.
I celebrate my birthday for like a month.
Birthday week continues. All right, thanks. All right, we'll stick around. We got more fun coming up on Studio 10.